What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Diaz Traveling Show. I think we're on episode number 10 now, and we're going to go over our time spent in Germany. It was a fantastic trip, and both Donna and I have been there before, but this was a little bit different because, again, going with the family, and again, going with the pandemic. And I think the first thing we're going to note about this country is just how efficient and how organized everything is. No matter where you go, everything is so organized. Chaos is like the antithesis of this place. I mean, you get there, lineups for shopping were very well organized. If you're waiting for restaurants, any sort of public transportation, everyone is just so civil and everyone is just kind of waiting patiently. And even if you're on the highway, we rented a car out there and oh man, everyone knows where to be. If you're slow, you get in the right lane. If you're fast, you get in the left lane. So it was very well organized. The highway especially, I found it to be such a blast to drive on because everyone knew where to be. All the trucks were staying on the right-hand side unless they were overtaking, then they went back in their lane. So it was great. Again, what I really noticed and something that we were just completely dumbfounded by was just how efficient everything is there. And it's great. It's such an awesome place to be, especially if you don't like chaos. And with the German population, I guess what we wanted to note was that they're very straight-laced and appear very serious. So right from the get-go, you know that the German people and I got along swimmingly. Now, with so many places to choose from to go and visit in Germany, we ended up going to two in particular. We went to Munich and Stuttgart. Yeah, I like that name, Stuttgart. Stuttgart. Like how they say it. But we noted that it was pretty much like any other modern city. Super busy in some places, super dead in others, and it didn't really have a lot of that old architecture. Although there is some along the city, but it just felt like you're in a big city, like any other modern place. We really had to venture outside of the city limits to kind of see some of the cooler places like the castles and the towns, because once we did that, it was phenomenal. I mean, there are so many little towns surrounding the bigger cities and they're all a stone's throw away. And when you get there, that's where you really see the kind of older architecture. We went to a few castles and there are a plethora of castles to go visit. I mean, you can go and drive an hour in any direction and you can find a pretty cool looking castle. On top of that, they had the beer gardens, glue wine. Oh my gosh, I've never been a fan of mulled wine until really delving into it here and having it on every street corner, little shops, little kiosks serving glue wine. And it's great, especially that it was getting cold outside. Nothing hits a spot than a nice cup of warm wine. And I was, like I said, never really been into it until really got here and just pounced on it. It was fantastic. So glue wine all the way. Coupled that with a lot of Christmas decorations. Now, I really feel that the Germans love their Christmas decorations because everywhere you went, they started popping up. We were there in November, to the end of November, and they were coming up everywhere, and it was fantastic to see. They really got into it. Even with their stern faces, it still livened up the Christmas spirit around in that area. Now, unfortunately, all the Christmas markets that we were planning to go hit up shut down or weren't allowed to come out because of the pandemic, so that was a bit sad, but we still noticed that there were still quite a few decorations around, so that was nice. The museums were fantastic. We went to a few different museums. One of the ones we went to was a pig museum. Now, I thought it was pretty cool to go in there because it was just all pigs. Some of them were really small, some of them were really big, some of them were fancy, some of them were not so fancy. But yeah, if you ever get a chance, go hit up the pig museum. Unfortunately, they don't give you any sort of prize at the end or any sort of takeaway like a pack of bacon bits or something. But cool nonetheless to see. The pig museum was one of Dominic's highlights, so that was cool. For me, some of the museums that we went to were the car museums. Now, we went to the BMW Museum in Munich. We went to the Porsche and the Mercedes Museum in Stuttgart. And they were phenomenal, like fantastic museums. And again, very well organized, like you would expect from the Germans. I would tell you, go there without even thinking about it because it is such a cool place. Donna was not huge into the car thing, but when she got there, she enjoyed it. So that's something to consider, is that if you love cars, go and hit that place up. So a lot of the things that we did were check out kind of the modern things and modern exhibits, and they were phenomenal. So again, check out the museums. As a matter of fact, after going to the Porsche museums, kind of fell in love with the displays of the 911, especially the 911 GT3 RS. Oh my gosh, that is a beauty, and you get to see it up close and personal. As a matter of fact, I am thinking of adding another car to our stable back in Calgary, a German car to be exact, and I'm looking at that 911 GT3 RS. I just have to get Donna's permission and approval, hopefully sooner than later. So that concludes our stay in Germany. Went really fast and we loved it, had a fantastic time. But like everything else, good things come to an end. We are on to our next destination, which is heading back to Canada for the Christmas holidays to spend it with our family. And from there, we're gonna have to plan out the rest of our trip after the new year. So, hope you guys had fun on this trip. So until then, until our next journey, stay tuned and stay safe.